Hey, this is Leah Jones, and you are listening to the Three Geeks Podcast.
And hyphen word.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. No, but that's to my point though. Like, or you know, it's that, or it's like even in rap music, it's like I don't like intellectually, I don't understand why if someone puts something out there that they want to be repeated amongst the masses, why some people can say it how you wrote it. And some people can't,
Yeah.
and that is, you know, and that is just speaking to art in this fashion, where these things need to be repeated out loud, like be discussed even. So, like you have a legitimate physical response to saying the word, and you.
Why are you doing the Wu-Tang? Why are you doing the Wu-Tang?
He's talking about rap
no,
music.
but like it's like it's if your music is for everyone. And it can't not be for everyone, because once you put it out there, anyone can pick it up. So like that, like what's the responsibility there? And why is it crime and punishment if I'm just repeating something that somebody, the artist or the maker of it, wanted me to repeat?
Yeah.
But if you put that out there, they immediately put a parental advisory thing on it.
Oh.
So it's wait. So it's just like rated R movies now. When you put them out there, everybody can see it, but they're not supposed to. Now the audio version of this is the problem, because it's a parental advisory, but it's not a white person advisory. so
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so you like it's like 1998, right? All right, you go in there. You're gonna buy the latest freaking Wu-Tang album, you know, whatever.
Or try to buy NWA's last album.
Yeah, NWA's last, like Tribe Called Quest just dropped the fucking hot tracks. And you're like, okay, I need this CD, and they're like, ooh, sorry, sir.
Can I get the NWA album?
There's a
which one?
There's a white person advisory on this.
The N-word for life. We don't have that album.
Sir, I'm sorry.
No. You just say it backwards.
See, wait.
Like
you bring up a valid point. And Dan asked me, "Are these movies on YouTube or on Tubi?" And I said, "No." Yeah. My buddy, because he has on Blu-ray, he ripped them and then sent them to me share drive. Okay, because I can't go into the library here in Columbus and go, "Excuse me, do you have Boss N-word? I would like to check out that DVD." No, that's not going to end well for me.
Why not? You know,
why not?
Because society says, John.
No, like that's the thing though. Okay, like even in the thing. Okay, the title is Boss Nigger, and it's about a black sheriff who runs shit and gets shit done. I'm guessing he lives at the end of the movie, and the bad guy dies. I'm just throwing it out there. Why can't you ask for that movie? Like,
okay,
if you want to watch that movie where the black guy is the hero and wins, I want to give you that movie. Watch it.
No, I mean, go to the library and say you're doing it for research. See,
go to the library and say, I heard this movie was sweet. It's about this black sheriff who fucking runs the town, and these motherfuckers roll up and they think they can do shit, and he shows them what's up. That sounds like a badass movie. I want to watch it. Like, what's wrong with you watching that movie?
Nothing. But the point is, you got to go to the library and then give them a whole synopsis of the film.
Right, but that's the title of the movie. That's not your fault that that's the title of the movie. Like, I'm again, and this is intellectually, I understand emotionally. Yeah. There's a bunch more to it, but like it just it baffles me because again, like this is a positive black movie.
Right.
This is the black guy doing the right thing and the white guy is the enemy, and like and not only does the hero have to be a hero, because it's bad enough when you're a sheriff and old dude run up into town causing trouble, but on top of that, you have to worry about the people you're trying to protect turning against you for no reason at all.
Other than your skin color. Other than your skin color.
Again, yeah, so your skin color. So there's no real reason other than, no real reason. So at any point in time, your friend becomes your enemy, and you have to watch out on both sides. And like that makes him more of a hero.
Well, and here's the other film that I watched is called Bucktown, where Fred Williamson is a dude that goes back to this podunk town where his brother lived, finds out that his brother has died, so that's why he goes back to this town, and ends up finding out that the local racist cops killed him. And so he wants to get rid of the racist cops. So he calls back to like Philadelphia and gets some of his boys to come down and help him out to get rid of the racist cops. But here's the twist. After they get rid of the racist cops, which happens like in the first 40 minutes of the film, the rest of the film is those 4 dudes that came from Philadelphia, including a very young Carl Weathers, by the way, end up taking over all the vices that the racist cops were. And then Fred Williamson's like, hey, wait a minute. I didn't bring you guys down here to like take over. Like we wanted to just get rid of the racist cops. And now you guys are the racist cops, kind of. So it was real. And that one was good. Got a little bit crazy at the end because Fred Williamson stole a tank. But anywho.
All right,
and then he becomes Jesus.
I'm down for that too.
So, hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
No. But I mean, like, okay, now if that movie was called Bucktown Niggers or whatever, like.
Thanks for joining, Mike.
Like, again, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Hi, Mike.
Mike is crawled under his desk.
Hey, Max. Mike McG. www.youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. How's it going?
Man, just message me and let me know that you've already started.
We haven't started yet.
No, this is all the beginning.
I don't even remember hitting record.
I did,
but you did, so we're good.
Oh, so we haven't started yet. Okay.
No, not officially.
Oh,
not officially. I was like, jeez.
Well, no.
That said, it's staying.
Well, it's actually, you know what? In defense of Max and I, we are actually having a very, very honest, open conversation about race relations. As I mentioned,
you were talking about the blaxploitation movies you mentioned to me yesterday.
Yes. And I was like, you can't and did I text you boss N-word as well?
No, you just texted me boss.
Oh, you see,
see, Max thinks you should be able to say the word. If it's in the title of the movie, you should be able to say it, no matter your race.
Like, that's what the name of the thing is. Like,
I understand. I understand. Yeah, totally.
There's nothing to be done about that, or whatever. But if we all can agree to just call it boss, okay, fine. We'll just call it boss. But
I was just more laughing at the timing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there's got to be a hot take, that'll go up on the thumbnail right there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Three Geeks Podcast. As Max was just explaining, grab your Snoop Dogg CD, go to a local pub, and sing it lyric for lyric. We have a lot of great
at the library
going on.
Yeah, at your public library. Gather the children round.
Hey, Max said I could
bring
sing
your
it.
boombox.
Put on the NWA CD. Sing "Fuck the Police" to the children.
And tell them why you're straight out of Compton.
You're probably not, honestly, but it's okay.
It's there. It was put out there as it's why I think Disney should have to have "Song of the South" on Disney Plus. Like, you made it,
own it, use it as a teachable moment.
It was there, yeah, exactly. Like, be like, hey, this is part of it, and that's that. It's like like all the statues, all the racist ass statues. Go ahead and gather them up. Like I'm saying, like
gather them up, put them in
there
like
should
the
be a
racist
place.
museum.
There should be a place where you can go and look at them and see.
Hey, express yourself.
Express yourself.
This guy was a guy who lived. He did these things in his life, and then yada yada. And like I don't see any reason why we need to hide anything. It was all made, but you just have to understand when it was made and what it's actually about, and what the artist was thinking, and then how you feel about it from there. Like that's how I feel. It's there doesn't need you need to take the hurt out of it and just like examine it for for what it is and when it was and use whatever lessons you can get.
Put it into the proper context, because there's no erasing of history technically, because guess what? The trauma of what's already happened stays in the timeline and stays with the people that it affected.
Yes.
So it's like, you know what? You might as well put a little education behind, hey, here's why this was constructed. Here's why this was here. Here's why it was a bad idea for it to be constructed here and there.
Yes.
Do you have a Civil War exhibit? There you go. See?
Right? Like, I mean, the thing happened. Like I'm not trying to say it didn't happen. It did happen.
But I mean, I get the whole point of like, let's, taking down basically idols and so forth. Like, I get that, but it's also like, you know what? We can take them down, but you know what? Reuse that imagery to actually educate people and say,
yes,
like, hey, this is why this is fucked up, that you shouldn't do this.
Yes.
It goes back to what we talked about weeks ago with, Ralph Dibny on The Flash. Is like, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but we have to own up to those mistakes. No matter how big or small they are, we have to say, okay, we made a mistake. We said this or we did this. Apologize sincerely. Learn from it. Move on.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. My name is Jason. I got Max right next. I'm leaving it all in. Dan, John, and Mike. We're here. We're going to get a little bit more loose, more dick and fart jokes. We're not going to be serious through the whole podcast. I do want to take a minute. I'm not going to do a whole, just memorial things. We've done that many times on this podcast. Today is the 2-year anniversary of John Schnepp's death. So I just want to say rest in peace to the King of the Sweaties. And I shared the video again on our Facebook page, so if you want to check it out there. We have released a podcast every day this week.
Yeah.
And I've still got 9 in the can to go out.
I'm going to send you a sports nerd.
Because Max keeps recording these podcasts and sending them to me. So we've got a lot. And I've got interviews for the next 3 weeks after today's. So, John, last night I had a dream that Max and I interviewed Betty White. And maybe it's because of the conversation we had, or that you and Mike had on McChats about our interviewing together. So the whole interview was us geeking out about Betty White without any good questions.
I don't want to.
I feel like you bring the serious interview meets Chris Rock or Chris Farley, because that's what me and Max bring. Hey, you were in Power Rangers. That was really cool. What was that like? So, I was really mad at you because you got busy right as we got Betty White.
Oh.
And it was just a bunch of Golden Girl and B. Arthur questions. And we asked if she stood when she peed.
Hopefully I was so busy that I was making 7 figures doing something.
I don't know. I don't know how you missed Betty White.
What was her answer?
I don't remember. I just remember interviewing. I don't actually remember hearing any of the questions. Then me and Max made fun of John.
Did you have any?
We were like,
so,
Betty White, what is your social security number? According to my records, it ends in 1239.
Did you have thought-provoking, serious, open, and honest conversations about race relations?
We did not. Because,
Did you ask her if she ever watched Boss?
I asked her what it's like to be put. I asked her, I said, what does it feel like to have your family prop you up in a new show every year as you're getting older? She said she didn't mind it. She liked it. She let the strings just move her without fighting it. But is that plugged in? Yeah.
Hey, you should tell everybody, Jason, that of course the 3 Geeks podcast is, basically just made of cake.
It is.
Can we?
Everything is made of cake.
I'm so sick of that.
I don't know what that means.
Please move on. It's been a week.
Okay, never mind.
What
That
about
joke,
the cake?
I'm going to cross that one off.
I
Mike.
hate everything having to do with the word cake now. I'm so sick of it.
What did I miss?
Even the band?
John, what did I miss?
You missed Everything is Made of Cake? Like those videos on
Where-
Oh, yeah,
They
where they like
slice
cut the
everything.
metal and it's actually cake.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are sweet.
And then people just Photoshop, like, say Dwayne The Rock Johnson is or is he not cake, and just sliced off his face and showed like there's chocolate, devil's food underneath or something. It's like,
Cool.
there was a good Twin Peaks one though.
Nice.
Sarah Palmer's face, which was really good. So
I enjoyed the one for Gritty, which is the Philadelphia Flyers mascot. who,
Okay.
Oh,
like,
that is
ate part of
definitely-
it.
that's definitely cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was watching all the videos, and then his leg, he takes a piece out of his leg and eats it. And I'm like, that was pretty funny.
As somebody who enjoys hearing differing opinions of themselves, like next week, me and Dan get to dive into Dr. Sleep, and I'm really excited to hear Dan's take because it's completely different than mine. You're not a fan of David Lynch, and we talked about this for like a second on Matt Talk, but it wasn't really the time or place to have this conversation.
Sure.
So what is your opinion of David Lynch?
I'm not a fan. I feel like I feel like he can do anything, and it gets heralded as like art. If I did it, people would go, lock him up. He's a lunatic. If I interviewed a monkey, like he did, wasn't it a monkey?
Great.
Yeah. If I interviewed an animal and did it seriously, people would send the guys in white coats to my house.
Oh, they would, because you've never done anything like that before. If you just out of context went on your podcast and was like, I'm here today with this monkey. Hi, monkey. Hi, John. How are you? People would think you were crazy.
But
On
that's
top
a
of
genius.
I mean, did
So
you
you
make
say
a
I have
race
to make
record?
Yeah.
I have to make a bunch of weird movies first.
I
Yes.
appreciate the fact that you didn't like David Lynch, but you still have watched his films. Like, you've watched a good majority of
Yeah.
them.
So at least, I mean, you're educated on the subject.
Oh yeah. I saw
Like, yeah.
Mulholland Drive. I've seen Lost Highway. What's the other one that I watched?
That's perfectly fine.
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet. Yes, thank you. I watched
You
Blue
said you
Velvet.
didn't mind that one. No, it's got...
No, Blue Velvet was okay. I didn't mind that one. That
It's
one was
coherent.
okay.
Yeah, Blue Velvet and Elephant Man are probably his most, like,
Oh, I love Elephant Man.
straight movies. Oh, Elephant Man's getting a Criterion release this year, and I'm really excited about it. But
Yeah, it is.
I haven't seen that either. So far, Mulholland Drive is the only
That's
one.
the thing, John. I can appreciate, like, at least you've taken the time to actually watch the movies and formulate your opinion that you don't
Mhm.
like them. It's one thing to be like that, and it's another thing to be some poser being like, oh, David Lynch so overrated. I've seen Dune,
Hey now.
maybe. Hey, I love his Dune, so whatever.
Yeah, so that's my take on David Lynch. Not a fan. But I also say that about David Cronenberg too. I think he's done some great stuff and some terrible stuff.
I haven't seen
Heard us,
enough,
John.
Huh?
John,
Yeah.
out there, I have to talk to you. Remember, please remind me that I need to talk to you about a nickname for you. But I got to talk to you about it off there because of other things that we discussed earlier. But
Oh, God.
Oh Jesus! I'm afraid. My anxiety level's now through the roof. Thanks,
no,
Max.
it's just it's totally cool, but we just need to. I just want to remember, so I'm telling
Okay,
you.
I'll write a note down.
I'll forget.
Max's nickname.
Okay.
Trigger
It's nothing
warning.
even. It's nothing even serious. Okay. Anyway. Okay. That's it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I even had to interject that, but I knew I'm gonna forget. That's all.
One of the things we forget to promote is we have a TeePublic and Mike has a TeePublic, and you could find the link to both of those in this video because I'm going to add them. We all have Patreon accounts, I believe. John, do you have a Patreon account?
I do not have a Patreon account.
You should totally have a Patreon account.
Dude, it's just another thing to do. I seriously.
You're talking. You're telling me, man.
Yeah. And I have trouble with our right now on our Patreon account. I think you can only donate like $1 or something like that, right?
Yeah, they're low.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's like we haven't developed that yet. So like that's one of the things like I'm kind of itching to get started. So it's rough too, because like you do have to provide something extra for that market.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there people are going to pay money, you gotta do something like that. So it's kind of daunting, and so like that's
not if everyone stays at the entry level tier. It's not, because that's easy to please.
There you go.
Right, but I mean, like, you get more people by having the better tiers of stuff, and and it's
theoretically,
right.
In other words, can I please get some better tier levels?
Well,
I mean, I'm begging on here.
You have to put out for it, and it's like
you do have to put out for it.
That's
I'm on the basic tier, and nobody's pleased me yet. So come on, guys.
Exactly. That's like basic tier means you're on the show and you're the fucking main figure for the podcast.
Are we talking about the same thing?
Dan pays $1 every month to do this.
So do I, Dan.
You're gonna be a star, baby. You're gonna be a star.
Actually, it's
just
121
smile. Just look
me.
pretty and smile.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I totally get that though. Like it's like why another thing where I'm just like feel more obligation to do more. Like
hey, as I posted on the Facebook page of the PVD Cast, I spent the other day offloading episodes off the website because I was told by my hosting service, hey, you have like 200 episodes. You're gonna eventually run out of space, and
Great.
that means more money. And I'm like, you know what? No one's listening to episode 62. We're gonna take that one down and put it on the
I had
hard
that
drive.
one queued up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! I'm sorry.
That's my episode, John. What the hell?
Then you put it on a higher tier in Patreon as the lost episode. See?
No, I know, man. That's what I do need a Patreon.
Too. I mean, you could think about that. Like that's or offer packages. It's like, okay, well, we had to rotating to the vault or whatever, but you can get the vault packages on the Patreon for whatever.
No, it's just it's like I actually discussed this with another podcaster, and he was like, dude, listen, it's having another podcast. He goes, having a Patreon is having another podcast, because you just can't take the episode from this week and put it over there the following week and go, hey, $5. No. He goes, you got to have content. He goes, it's daunting. It is absolutely daunting. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, man. But also get at it. You do a bunch of shit though. Like
yeah, you're busy.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I need an assistant.
You have an assistant for Matt Talk, and we still don't get those episodes out. Like on the other day, John and I we recorded Matt Talk, and I kind of just wanted my evening because I've been doing a lot of stuff for the podcast, loading up and editing and getting stuff ready. So I'm like, let's just do it during my lunch break. So I've been doing all of my podcasting stuff during my lunch break at work. Like
I work at home.
Yeah, but exactly. I guess I could do it during my break.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, but. Sorry.
Not in the office, Max. He's not in his cubicle going, excuse me, I'm going to go to lunch. And he like grabs his laptop and microphone.
Yeah, dude.
Scurries off.
Hey, it's my work. Very stressful.
And
no idea.
You get the bonus of his eating ASMR. So,
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no, it has been like I feel like I've been recording a lot. I don't do a lot of the technical stuff like these guys.
Yeah, it's really annoying because Max will invent a new podcast and not tell anybody about it, and then he'll send one called Yogi and Boo Boo, and then me and
Tang.
We talked about that.
Invented on this podcast. Huh?
Yeah. I said that was here. Like, I was like, oh, look, an episode of Yoo-Hoo and Tang. Awesome.
See? So, no, but people do know, okay? It was a thing. And fuck you, buddy. I'm trying to work as hard as you guys.
Well, I got those two edited.
He holds it up on the corner and says, "We'll podcast for food."
Still got that sign somewhere, I think.
Nice.
I will say I did love your turn as host, Max. on the latest remake, and how you kind of dropped the bomb on Victor at the beginning, being like, "Hey, by the way, you got to choose your own categories." And Victor's like, "Wait, what?"
We got a grudge match coming up between Brian and Victor. We got to get that going because
Oh.
Brian is very upset that John was judging Victor's game, and then Victor came back as the judge against John, and Brian is calling foul, so he wants to play.
I took offense
Victor.
to that my intestinal fortitude, my integrity is being.
No, it's not
somewhat
your integrity. It's Victor's integrity is what Brian is questioning.
Okay.
He said Victor is inherently biased against your team because you had judged against him.
He's playing it up. He's playing it up for the fun, the sport of it all.
But you know what, brother? When you get into the ring, the judge makes the call.
Wait a minute. What?
It's the
You're
Royal
going
Rumble.
wrestling
It's every
route. I
man
was
for
going the
himself.
Hamilton Burr route.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Remakes at dawn, gentlemen.
Yeah, we need to get another one going.
Yeah, it's been
Sooner
released
than
this
later.
week, so 2 weeks from this week.
Okay, yeah, it's
Yeah,
I
we'll-
love Remake Revolution so much. It is
yeah.
my very favorite thing.
I am also working on some other remake stuff, so yeah, we'll
Ooh, nice, awesome.
see what develops.
Very
So, did you guys see that China does not want Tenet to air in theaters?
Because it's too long.
Yes, because it's too long and they have COVID concerns.
Well, to be fair, Christopher Nolan needs to give up this
Yeah.
whole pushing
Yes.
2 weeks
Yeah.
and just
That's
say
China's concern. That should be our concern.
that Christopher
no,
Nolan just
China
needs to
is our
come
movie
out
company now.
and either put it on digital or push it to next year.
Mhm.
Push it. If he's so gung ho about the theater experience,
Yes.
just push it until
Yeah.
there's zero.
I know that he
Next
was
to
like
zero
gung
concern.
set on getting it released around the Inception anniversary, which leads to the Inception rumors with Tenet. But whatever, you've missed that date now. Just push it.
Yes.
Do it for the
Yes.
11-year
Yeah,
anniversary
it's-
of Inception.
It's I don't understand when because our theaters open, like are all the theaters going to be open?
No, AMC is not
no.
opening until there's new movies.
Right. So just forget it. Like people, can we just okay, we're gonna miss some things. You know what? We're gonna miss some things. It sucks, but it sucks for everyone, and we're doing it for a good reason. Fucking just get your head out of your ass. Like cancel it. Cancel everything. Cancel every fun thing that 12 dumb people are going to show up to and kill themselves. And then go home and kill their families. Don't do it. Apparently we can't help ourselves. So you need to be smarter than everyone else. You need to be smart for people. Don't do it.
I saw a meme today that was really funny. It was so true. It's got Kid Rock on the moon, and it says, Americans don't give a shit about protection in space. Which is so true.
Look, here's the thing. Marvel has done it. DC has done it with their big movies for this year. You would not, it's not like you're the only one, Christopher Nolan, that's like, oh, Wonder Woman 1984 was in theaters. They pushed it back. No, nothing is in the theaters.
And it's not like Tenet coming out next year pushes all the Tenet sequels back. Like Disney and Marvel have like fluxed their whole schedule.
Right.
Like they're not just
Exactly.
pushing one movie. It's a domino effect when Black Widow gets pushed back.
Right. And they're not whining and complaining about it.
No.
Well,
So-
it's also like, we didn't make $4 billion this year.
If he wants to release it digitally. Those of us that like it will go see it in theaters in a double feature with Inception. I'm sure I would.
Ooh, I would do that.
Because I would love to see Inception again in the theater.
I would.
Let's
Yeah.
just get past this.
And if he's so worried about people getting the theater experience, how about you need to take a picture of your home theater and send it to him, and then you can get the movie.
I am somebody who prefers the movie theater, but
I miss the
I miss it so much.
The one thing that COVID killed for me that I'm like a crackhead like fiending to get back to is movies in the movie theater. I fucking love going to the movie.
And they're showing good movies at the Cinemark down the street. And it's probably been my weakest moment during this whole COVID thing because it's something I want to do. Like, I really wouldn't mind going to see Batman 88 on the big screen or going to see 2001 or
Ugh.
the first Avengers.
Hey,
Oh,
John, you got to
John
quit
hates.
hurting me like this.
yeah.
Sorry.
All right, John, let's talk about the big baby in the room. What's your beef with 2000? I love Hot Take. Hot Take Orlando.
I do not like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Was it the baby?
About 3 years ago, a friend of mine, we were at a friend's house talking, and he goes, "Hey, my favorite movie is coming back to the Gateway, and it's on 70 millimeter. It's 2001: A Space Odyssey." And I'm like, "Cool, man, I'll go see it," because in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it when I was in high school. I didn't like it, but that's when I was in high school. So maybe
That's
now
fair.
I'll appreciate it." We go, we sit down, and the movie starts, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I haven't seen this before because I would remember these weird animals running around the obelisk thing. Like, I don't remember this."
Did you watch
Here-
2010?
No,
Okay.
Mike,
that's-
I only saw the middle part of 2001. Because I'm
Okay.
sitting in the theater going, "Where's the astronauts?
Mhm.
Where's Hal?" And then I'm like, oh, I only saw the middle part. I didn't actually see the whole entire film. And yeah, and then we got to the end. And I was
I
like,
tried to watch it when I was younger, and I didn't like it either. And then I went back recently and enjoyed it quite thoroughly.
yeah.
It's too long. I agree. It is definitely too long, but like it's also like what I think helps the space experience. It's sort of like the Neil Armstrong movie. Like they did a real good job of you feeling that claustrophobia. That like when he's
True.
locked
Okay.
in, like you feel that in the movie. Like they did a really good job of that, and so that's why I thought like 2001 was a unique experience because like when you think about space travel, like for human beings as we are, like it is long and slow and boring, and like that needs to kind of be part of it to tell the story, right? So I get it, but yeah, I definitely like. There's just a lot of weirdness that goes on. The movie is long as hell, and it doesn't really get good until like way into it. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But I do enjoy it though. You do have to be in the right mood to watch it.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, look, I didn't mind Full Metal Jacket. All right. So it's
That's
not
two
like I hate Kubrick.
That's
I
two
do-
movies.
It is. The first half is 10 times
Yeah.
better than the second half. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. What other Kubricks have I seen?
The
Shining.
The Shining, which was horrifying and terrifying, but that's okay because that's what it was
Oh, I
supposed
thought
to be.
Stephen King directed The Shining.
Not the miniseries.
What else have I seen of Kubrick? I've
Eyes
seen
Wide
like
Shut.
15. What?
Eyes Wide Shut.
I've seen 15
Yeah.
minutes of that.
Clockwork
You've not
Orange.
seen Eyes Wide Shut all the way through?
I have
I
not
have not seen it all the way
Oh,
through.
buddy.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, you're not missing anything.
Clockwork Orange, John. Barry.
Oh yes, I've seen Clockwork Orange.
Doctor Strangelove.
Or how-
No, I have not
Really?
seen Doctor Strangelove. No.
Ooh, yeah, I think you'd like Doctor
you
Strange.
should watch that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, sorry.
That's okay.
I guess my oddball director
don't have
that
to
I like.
apologize.
You don't have to
I'm just
I was
saying.
just kidding, by the way. It's like I said, at least you've seen the movie to formulate an opinion.
Yeah, right.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm not that douche going.
John, you gave me a good idea for a topic. We'll do it real quick. It's what movie did you see and you hated, and then you watched it a second time, maybe later on in life, and absolutely loved it? Like thought
Training
it
Day.
was- Training
Training
Day.
Day.
Ooh.
That's a good movie.
First time I saw Training Day, I hated it. I was like, this movie sucks. And
Sounds
because, well, no, because I think it was the idea of Denzel being the bad guy.
It's because they say the N-word a lot, huh? You're just like really having trouble with it. I get it. That's cool. You're sensitive.
And Mike disappears again.
You know what he calls that on Messenger, right?
I'm sorry, John.
Training Day, I did not like. It took like the second viewing that I'm like, okay, no, this is good. I think it was that disconnect of like I've always seen Denzel as being, a more good, and I'll use that in quotation marks, guy. Even even in like John Q, where he's kind of a little bit, but he still has good intentions, even though he's doing some evil stuff. So Training Day for me.
I'm going to take it back to the beginning of the conversation. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, I hated the first time, and now it's one of my favorite movies. Which probably goes with David Lynch in general, seeing it more than once. But Thor Ragnarok was a movie I did not like the first time I saw it at all. You remember that? I was like, why is everybody? And I saw it a second time and I absolutely loved it. I don't know, maybe I was in a bad mood the first time I saw it, because mood can totally affect your opinion of a movie.
Just go to the theater like, I hate Thor.
Maybe it's expectations, because Marvel does set expectations, and just for some reason that one didn't do it for me the first time. Everybody kept telling me that, so I gave it a second chance.
I usually like a movie the first time and then go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh, this movie sucks. Yeah. Damn it. Like
Suicide Squad for both of us.
Mike, how about you? What movie did you watch the second time that you hated the first time and the second time you liked it?
I wouldn't say hated, but overall had like a disinterest in, because I was about, I want to say 13 or 14 when I first saw Apocalypse Now. And I just, at that time in my life, I just couldn't see the appeal of it, just because I didn't have the patience or like the eye or, mindset for taking in atmosphere. But also, as I grew older and I came back to that movie, not just in like film courses and things like that, but also just for my own amusement, I learned more about the production and the hell that everyone went through to make that movie. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a really interesting story. So I came back to Apocalypse Now, and now I actually do like appreciate the movie a whole lot more, not just as a film and as a story, but more so like all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into it. And yeah, there's some stuff that I'm like, you could have found another way to do this, like animal killing. You could have worked a way around that without actually doing it, Coppola. But, I own like the Redux version of it. I own the 4K version they just released. Nice. So like it's become one of my favorites, absolutely. But back when I was younger, I just didn't have the patience for it. Didn't hate it, but just was like, that's the thing, is like there's very rarely in my older age now, there's not a lot of movies that I look back on and say like, oh, you don't hate that. You just didn't have an interest in it. There is only one movie, two movies maybe, that I genuinely hate, that I'm like, I never have any interest in revisiting, and I've expressed very freely like what that movie or those movies are.
I don't know that.
A Serbian film.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well,
and Human Centipede 3.
So the first
one because it's horrible, one because it's horribly annoying.
What about the first two Human Centipedes?
I like the first Human Centipede just for what's his name, Dr. Hyder, that character. It's a stupid idea, and it's ridiculous. But I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Centipede 2, they try to do some meta narrative with it. I'm just like, I get what they're doing, but it's just kind of lame. 3 is where I'm just like, this is just really annoying. And like they take that Hyder, that actor who plays Hyder, and just like let him loose. And while that could work, I'm just like, he needs better direction. He needs any direction right now. And oh my God, this is dumb.
I hate Vulgar, which sadly I own a copy.
Is that who directed that? That's
Kevin Smith, right?
That's a Brian Johnson.
Yeah, but
Kevin
produced
Smith's
by Kevin.
friend.
Yeah.
The whole movie is horribly done, and there are outtakes that I'm like, why'd you cut that? Because that actually makes the film better. If you had left those in, it would at least have a better narrative. Hated that movie. There was another one called Bois Moi, which was a French film that was banned in France. And I'm like, well, I got to see this. It's banned in France. It should have been banned because it's awful, not because of the content. It was.
That's why in France,
the
only way to get something banned in France is to be so, que terrible. And then they have to...
Yeah, it was bad.
They're speaking Spanish, but it's okay.
I was like, wait a minute.
Sure. Whatever.
I believe they would say
language.
Max is like, no, oh, sorry, Spanish is terrible. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was really bad, and
I dropped the last freaking thing off the word. That's French.
And he used K.
Yeah, totally. It's
Hey,
French.
speaking real quick of Vietnam movies, I watched The Five Bloods Wednesday night. Anybody else see it?
How
No,
was
but I've
it?
been meaning to. It's in my. That's a Netflix one, right?
That
Yeah,
title,
it's a Netflix.
That title is misleading.
Why?
It's a Korean movie called The Five Bloods.
Oh.
Oh.
It's not like a
No.
movie about like
No,
South Central LA.
it's a Spike Lee movie with Delroy Lindo.
Oh, okay.
and-
No, so I thought it was a Korean movie. I was like, okay.
Max, is your hearing okay?
No, apparently not. But I
Like
just
for the
found
past
out
couple
just
weeks, man.
I
I'm just
just
saying.
found out just now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so my bad. I'm an idiot.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's easy though. Come on.
Yeah. go-
Come on. That is easy to do.
I'll defend that one. Max, I agree with you. Shame. That is an easy one to confuse.
Yeah.
I'll
All
give you
right.
that
Like, no.
Okay.
But I am an idiot, and I apologize. I apologize for that.
Okay.
You're fine, dude. You're great.
The Five Bloods is okay. It's just I don't want to ruin it, but it's I have some problems with it because I don't know if it really knows what it wants to be genre-wise. So it kind of gets a little muddled. Like you're like, okay, so we're not doing that, we're doing this. Okay. Great acting. All those dudes are great in it. Delroy Lindo, Clark Peters, Isaiah Whitlock. Who else is? I'm trying to think who else is. Jean Reno is in it.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, he's looking old too, though. He's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
rough. Like, I know he's not. He can't be more than like his mid to late 60s, but he looks rough
Probably.
in this movie.
Hey, he's a professional, man. He's the professional.
Yeah.
Oh, man. One of my favorites
I mean,
of all time.
he's French, so he smokes cigarettes all the time. So that probably takes some years off your life, and drinks plenty of wine, and that's probably takes some years off your life too.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't show up in it, right?
Nice.
As his famous Vietnam character.
No, he does not. He
Okay.
does not.
I gotta say, Luc Besson has made like two of my favorite movies of all time. Like that's not bad from one direction.
What's your two? The Professional and what else?
Beyond the Professional and The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Fifth Element was with the song. I forgot about that.
Dude.
Yeah.
We agree on something.
Damn, you have to ruin everything. Like, could you just let it? I saw you over there. I saw you agree. We both acknowledge that we like this thing. Like, then you got to go and say it out loud.
We need the podcast. The podcast listeners deserve to know.
There you
Oh
go.
my goodness. Yeah, like that guy, and like Valerian isn't as bad as people say it is.
No, it's not.
Like Lucy, that movie was like a weird like Fifth Element style movie to me, and I was like, didn't quite get there with that one, but like I even that one he did with Guy Pearce is like some future prison or something like that. Lockdown 20 something or something like that. That one was worth watching, or not even worth watching. I shouldn't say that. It was bad, but it was entertaining. I don't know. I like that guy. So yeah, no, but like
Luc
my
Besson,
favorite
yeah.
movies of all time. Like Beyond the Professional is the shit. I love that movie, and like Natalie Portman, she's like 11 years old and kills it, and that was yeah.
And Gary Oldman is awesome as the
Gary Oldman as
villain.
the bad guy. Oh,
Dude, Gary Oldman is pretty much awesome in basically anything.
yeah,
True.
yeah. But, like when he gets to dial it up to 11, though,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
You're like, you know what, Gary, just
Mic drop.
have fun. Just have fun. And Gary's like, oh no, you done did it now.
Yeah.
And then he's fucking listening to Mozart all through your living room. And oh god, it's a beautiful thing.
Dan,
Even in
sorry.
what's that?
Continue first.
Oh, even in The Fifth Element, like as Zorg, he's freaking awesome.
Mhm.
Like he's getting He's got the one line where the monk leaves and he goes, you're a monster, and he's just like, I know.
Dan, did you say what movie that you hated and now like?
I don't have like any major ones. Like
Lost
I'd
in
say
Space.
no.
That's got Gary Oldman.
Since we're on Gary Oldman, that's
Oh yeah. Like he's I didn't like the movie, but he's awesome in it. I'm gonna say
I like the movie though.
Like stuff like Jeepers Creepers. I think like you watch it the first time and I was like, oh, this is crap. You know, I mean they can't even keep the car damage right between scenes and stuff. And then later I just watch it for what it is, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Just ignore who the director is.
Yeah.
Ignore the Jeeper and Creeper behind the camera.
2 was still awful though.
Star Wars kind of like shifted for me over the years. Like when I was a kid, Return of the Jedi was my favorite. But then like when I was a teenager and into being an adult, like Empire is my favorite. But then like now even like A New Hope and Empire are kind of like even. And I like that's a weird feeling for me because A New Hope has always been like second at best. But now like I'm appreciating it more. Of course, I'm talking about the theatrical cut, digitally mastered and bastardized.
You mean before R2 was stuck behind all of the rocks and had no like
like
actually getting there?
You know, like when there's interesting things happening on the screen and then a dinosaur walks in front of the interesting things happening on the screen.
Giant lizard ass, yeah.
You know, it's like maybe I wanted to watch that instead. Like I go, okay, this is cool. Like it's a dinosaur. If I wanted to see dinosaurs, I'd be watching Jurassic Park. Could you move that thing out of the way, please? Thank you. Fucking. Yeah, that's so. But yeah, it's catching up, and that's weird. So like things do like change over time, though, like as your perspective changes. But Return of the Jedi is definitely the beginning of the end. You see it, like you see what's going on.
John, you said you had some topics today?
We actually covered them all, I think. To be honest with you, I have a cake.
Boss Edward. That was mostly the topics of the day.
That was mostly the topics. You know, that's about it. We covered them all.
Okay, so
I got some stuff, but
Ooh,
go ahead, Max.
Go ahead, Mac or Mike.
No, Mike.
Mac.
I mean, it kind of ties into the whole thing we were talking about, like things getting delayed and stuff. I guess Falcon and Winter Soldier productions shut down, and they'll be releasing it much later due to.
Yeah, even the TV stuff is messed up.
Like they just started refilming the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right. Yeah, so like that's even it's multiple different media that's messed up over like having a pause or having a break.
Did we talk about on here like what are some of the new stipulations regarding productions now in the post-COVID era?
No,
we haven't yet. But what's fascinating about Disney is when they postponed Falcon, is they didn't say it'll come out in September. They just said the show has been delayed and won't appear in August.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to say. Don't give us a date because you just look stupid.
Yep.
But also like productions that are returning to work, like for example, like the Batman's going back to work in London because a lot of the EU is given like a green light now because they know what they're fucking doing. So like some new rules are like actors can't exhale when they're interacting in close quarters like scenes with each other, and I just found that kind of interesting. Like you have to like do your lines but not do them so much to the point that you breathe on somebody.
There's no more deep sigh, like like if you're having a moment you're just like
nope, you just gotta go.
Yep, exactly. They're finding ways to shoot around like say intimate scenes or sex scenes and things like that, so it's more implied what's going on as opposed to full on people.
It's gonna be like Naked Gun with the big rubbers.
Yes, I think that'd be a great solution. Everyone just gets in a full body condom.
Team America.
Dude, there's been there's been a couple of wrestling shows that have taken place like in Indiana and Kentucky and whatnot where they have done them outside, socially distanced with the chairs, hand sanitizing stations, cut down the amount of matches.
They're not even doing wrestling; they're just playing Yu-Gi-Oh in a big mat.
No, the guys and gals are actually wrestling.
My trap card.
They're actually wrestling, but those are the only people having any type of human contact among people. Like I'm a circus seal.
Yay!
Sirloin steaks slapping together.
When Big Show grabs the freaking hand sanitizer station and freaking smashes Johnson in the face with it.
Yes,
Over.
That's what should happen.
And everybody's clean.
That'll be a first time in wrestling history. I'm waiting on that. I want to see that a lot.
Somebody to like hold open their mouth and like put hand sanitizer in. Oh my God, no! I give up. I give up.
He's giving him the power clean, John. What is going on here?
I just find it really interesting. Like I'm wonder like in these, it probably won't be as noticeable, but like in these productions after they're gone through the ringer, after they're released and stuff, will we be able to tell like, oh, that must have been a scene shot post, pandemic, or oh, that must have been a scene shot like when 9/11 happened and you saw two tower erasure throughout a lot of movies.
Yes.
Like you could kind of tell what was going on due to what happened in real life. And so I'm just really curious, like when all these movies do finally come out that are being produced while this is going on, will we be able to tell like, okay,
we will
clearly, yeah,
we will, because you know why? There'll
Why?
be 18,000 YouTube channels telling us that.
In case you missed this red circle.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
No, we'll find out, because all of our legendary actors who love to grab people's faces and get in close, they won't be able to do that.
Timothy Dalton can't get angry at all.
There we go.
Is Timothy Dalton in anything right now? Come on.
Can he afford to get angry anymore? He's an old dude.
Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh God, bleeding all over the place. Hold on.
Dude, that's multiple different kinds of contamination and breathing all over.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I watched The Old Guard. Did anyone else watch The Old Guard?
Yeah.
I did a review of The Old Guard. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Check that out. Mike McDTV, YouTube.com. Okay. Now, this. At first, I thought it was just another freaking Thor.
Extraction.
Remember Thor versus the Indian people or the people of Bangladesh?
Yes.
Thor kicks kids, as I think you remember.
Yes. Thor
And kids get thrown off of buildings.
Yeah, they do. Oh man, that movie's great. But this movie starts out, and I was like, oh, this is just another one of those with Charlize Theron instead of Thor. And then it takes this like hard left turn, and I was like, "Oh, I'm actually kind of interested in this movie now." Like, do you want to discuss the spoilers? Does anyone care?
Just give
Go
us
for
spoiler
it.
alert.
Okay, spoiler alert.
It's kind of in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, so it's not really a spoiler.
I got really bored and stopped after 5, so I don't.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So maybe it was a little sooner than I thought, but yeah, so apparently there's a race of immortals, and they're going about their business, and they like save people and yada yada. But when they get all shot up and then they come back to life, I was like, oh, this is a whole different movie, and I thought it was cool too, because at first I was like, they killed the whole Charlize Theron's only in this movie for 7 minutes. Like, this is like Steven Seagal, an executive decision, I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's great, and then they come back to life, and I was like, oh, okay, it's Highlander, awesome, it's Highlander. But I think the movie goes on for a little too long, and it is just a bit long, but I thought it was cool. I like and then they set up it at the end for the next one. I didn't really like that. That was very Extraction to me, and I thought it was very heavy-handed and not needed.
They've got plans for a franchise, because it's based off of an Image comic. So
okay, yeah. So it felt very comic book. That was a very comic book thing, and yes, I dig it. I'm having fun, but there's just a couple of times where it's kind of groany. Just okay, but definitely the end is very comic book. That I don't even know. That I feel like that frame was somewhere that people just like lifted it.
You
Zack
sold
Snyder
me on
style. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and the action is good, and I dug it. I'm very intrigued by it. Like, I mean, the actors they got, Charlize Theron's like the only. I know they have Chiwetel Ejiofor's in it. Freaking
Dudley from Harry Potter playing Dudley if he was a pharma bro.
Yes, that's who that was. I was like, who is that guy?
He just got really skinny, but he's still an asshole.
Is that comic still out, or is it like one of those ones that Image has done the run and it's done, and
it might be a limited? I'm not sure.
Okay. I just was curious.
It's done by Greg Rucka, who he also wrote the script for the movie too. So
okay, yeah. From
he wrote another one I like, Queen and Country. It's about like the British Secret Service. I dig that one too. Greg Rucka's a pretty good comic writer.
Yes, indeed.
But the Old Guard is good. I dig the I feel like Extraction could exist in this universe, so I kind of want them to like team it up. I feel like that would be badass, but because I mean, like that would explain why he lived at the end of it.
Max is hoping for a family sitcom tie-in to Extraction, where where you have like the mom, the dad, the two kids, and Chris Hemsworth shows up to beat up all the bullies to save the two kids.
Who here wants less Chris Hemsworth? Right? Chris Hemsworth is awesome.
Yeah.
So
I would say he's a national treasure, but he's Australian.
Another nationality.
Well, hey, you know what? There's only one race, okay? The human race, and I'm glad he's
there.
Part
You
of
go.
it.
Okay.
He's a human treasure.
Right. So
there you go. He's a human treasure.
Yeah. I just I want the ending of Extraction to make sense. And B,
I mean, dude, you might get it because I think the old Extraction is like the #1 Netflix original movie that got, the biggest audience. And like Old Guard is like either 6th or 5th on that list. So who knows? They might be like, pool your efforts. Also, I don't know if to kind of go along with this, Russo brothers, Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, $200 million budget to do like a new James Bond-ish type of thing exclusively for Netflix. Was
really?
announced.
all right.
That's cool.
I'm down.
All right.
Netflix is doing some stuff. I dug both of those. Like they're entertaining action movies, just just to watch. But there's like Extraction with its just crazy ridiculousness because like A, the poor children, B, the poor lawful soldiers of Bangladesh.
Isn't there a new one on Netflix too? I don't know what it is, but it's got WWE's Edge, Denise Richards, Kelsey Grammer, and it's like a casino on a plane, and these bad guys are gonna like steal like it's Ocean's 11 meets Airwolf. Like it's that type of.
No!
Sounds like Celebrity Rehab to me.
I think it's on Netflix, but I'm not sure. If it's not on Netflix, it's on Hulu.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to be the John of the show this week and talk about a show that's no longer running. So I've been watching Boston Legal, and the cast of this show is like insane. They keep bringing on these great people. Betty White just joined the cast a few episodes ago, and now Michael J. Fox is on there, and that's what I want to talk about. I love Michael J. Fox. Like, I absolutely love this guy, and watching him on Boston Legal reminds me how much I love him. Like, even the movies of his that aren't good are still fun to watch because it's Michael J. Fox. I just want to give Michael J. Fox some love. Like the Frighteners, more people should watch the Frighteners.
How about Family Ties? Are you gonna start going back and watching that?
Maybe I might.
Geez.
Is that on Peacock?
No, but it's on Hulu.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
I had trouble explaining to somebody that Peacock was the NBC service. They're like, but it's called Peacock. I was like, yeah, no, because their
NBC.
logo is a peacock.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but it's but it's not NBC. I was like, no, it is. It's their streaming service. It's called Peacock.
What they think it was, a clamshell?
I have no idea.
Porno site.
Like they just couldn't see it for some strange reason, and that was it was a weird thing. I was like, this is really weird. Why am I having trouble explaining this? Like,
watch Peacock, and you will experience the best of R. Kelly.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Bad joke. Sorry. It had the word "e" and "cock" in it. So I went.
God. I'll take Max's pre podcast banter over that.
And that is our show today. Send all of the hate about the beginning of this episode to 3geekspodcast@gmail.com. Let Max, I bet that guy that was watching us like a few years ago that was in Mike's Greatest Hits video is watching this like, at least we're talking about the right stuff now.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, guys, have a great day. Check out Mike, www.youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. He dropped 3 new videos today. Check out John at pvdcast.com or on Twitter at pvdmvp. Also, check out Matt Talk. Lots of fun. We love our fan base. Like I said, the fan base for Matt Talk is bigger than the fan base from when we started this.
Freaking got to tap that untapped market. That's so sweet. Like,
dude, we're already at 100 listeners a week.
I know. It's fucking great. Like who would have thought? I'm proud of you guys. Like that's
John
awesome.
and I knew at all the conventions. Max always said nobody knows what Matlock is. You guys just need to stop.
Not that nobody knows. Nobody cares.
But apparently they do care. They do care, John.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Do.
I was wrong.
At least 100 people do.
Coming soon, Jason and John's pudding hour at the nursing homes watching Matlock. So
That's
be
right.
ready for that.
Taking them on tour, baby.
Great day.
Oh.
Recycle your droids.
Recycle your droids.